Welcome, everybody. Hi. Today we're going to be reviewing An Ant's Life. I watched it, and I have proof right here. This movie. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie! So yes, I did watch this fucking movie, if we could even call it as such. This movie is the definition of just bad, just fucking awful. Can you even call it a movie? I don't fucking think so. But yes, I watched it, and it's freaking grotesque and awful looking. And the only good thing I can say about this movie is it's only 25 minutes long. Keep that in mind, by the way. So, this movie is free to watch on YouTube. It's that sad of a case. Why would you want to actually spend money on this? I feel so bad for Chris Stuckman that he actually spent money on this. Like, he actually bought that shit off of Amazon. Look, if you buy a movie, it should be worth your money. Seriously? You know, if you spend money on a movie... Look, I'm a college student. I don't have a lot of money to just spend at my own free will. So if I buy a movie, it better be fucking good. You know, it better be something like this, or this, or this. It better be something good. It better be something worth my fucking time and money. You know, whether you use cash or pounds or whatever kind of currency, it should be worth your time and money if you're gonna buy it. Is this movie worth your money? I think you know the answer to this. No. This movie's graphics are some of the most grotesque shits I've ever seen. This freaking hellspawn of a donkey's pubic-haired, penis-looking, aspect ratio shit particles of a movie are just not worth anyone's time. And you've probably been wondering why I haven't been talking about this. You probably think I'm stalling. And you know something? You're absolutely right. I don't want to talk about this thing. It is so bad. In fact, I feel like I'm cursed by it, because my computer has crashed twice in recording this review for it. So it clearly wants me to just talk about it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. In case you can't tell, I don't care for this movie. And the thing is, I feel bad for a lot of people involved in this. The voice actresses and actors, I figured they'd be just some random people this director asked to help out on this project, but some of them are actually known for voicing in other stuff. One of them even voiced in Speed Racer. What are you doing in this? That's kind of a step down. And I don't mean to put you down, but this is a step down. What were you thinking and being in this? It's whatever. I am like out of energy when talking about this, so let's just start the actual review. I've been putting it off, and it's time we actually got the review out to you. This movie was produced by Michael Shelp. Michael Shelp. Let's see what Michael Shelp has made otherwise. Michael Shelp. This guy's also responsible for movies such as A Car's Life. A Car's Life. You starting to see a pattern here? This guy makes plagiarism. That's his whole gimmick. And if you go to his Wikipedia page, you will see the other shit fucks he's made. I mean, oh my god. He's made a ton of Cars Life movies. And an Ant's Life and Piper Penguin, which is Happy Feet ripoff. Cars Life's obviously Cars. Okay, now let's actually get started with the movie review. So the movie starts off with a caterpillar trying to flee some geckos. A Bug's Life started off with bugs. Ant Bully starts off with an ant bully. This movie starts off with a caterpillar. It's titled Ant's Life. I know that's a nitpick. And they're literally copying off of Ant's Bully down to the font, but who gives a shit? Who gives a fucking shit? No one gave a shit in this movie, so why should I give a shit? Okay, now let's actually get started with the movie review. So the movie starts off with a caterpillar trying to flee some geckos. A Bug's Life started off with bugs. Ant Bully starts off with an ant bully. This movie starts off with a caterpillar. It's titled Ant's Life. I know that's a nitpick. And they're literally copying off of Ant's Bully down to the font, but who gives a shit? Who gives a fucking shit? No one gave a shit in this movie, so why should I give a shit? He escapes the geckos in some of the most grotesque animation I've ever seen, and meets up with his ant friends. Here we meet the main characters. Yeah, there isn't a main character. There's 3 main characters, even though that should be just 1 main character and 3 lead characters. There's 3 main characters. Whatever, that's nitpicking. I guess you could kind of say the orange one's the main character, but they all share the same amount of screen time. No one learns a lesson in this movie. It's fucking bad. And it's so short that I can't define when the inciting incident is, really. Everything in this movie is an inciting incident. But that's just stupid banter on my part. Also, by the way, the ants are dicks. All of them. They're dicks. The incompetence level displayed here is mind-blowing. The ants are both racist and discriminant towards other bugs, and yet somehow they're friends with a caterpillar, and it's amazing. The geckos are grotesque looking. They reuse the same shots over and over and over again. They reuse the same sounds over and over and over again. They reuse the same scenes over and over again. It's so stupid. This movie is stupid. And there's this weird thing where the plants move and groove to a sound effect that's reused over and over again, and a song that's reused over. Okay, you get the idea. Everything's over and over again in this movie. So I guess the plot kind of kicks off when this queen ant comes in, who's apparently actually a parasite, and asks the other 3 ants to help her in making a nest, when really it's just a plot to get her own army. I am so food deprived talking about this. I probably should have eaten something before getting into this thing, because now my blood sugar's low and I fucking hate this! Michael, you made a piece of god shit here. This movie, we then get something terrible. Just And we just get one of many examples in this movie why this should not be viewed by a child. It says this is a universal film, like it should be viewed, but it can be viewed by anyone. But this movie should not be viewed by a kid. This is supposed to be a kid's movie. It's just not. It's gross. It's horrific. And the decisions made here cannot be seen by a kid in a kid's movie. We have a praying mantis who eats her husband. I get that praying mantis, their species, actually do this in real life, some of them. But it should not be in a kid's movie. They're just being realistic. A Bug's Life found a way to have bug anthology without being gross about it. And an Ant Bully, while not being as realistic, found a way to feature ants without being gross and unrealistic. Why couldn't this movie do that? Oh yeah, because this guy doesn't care. He researched ants and said, you know what, screw it, I don't care if this is a kid's movie. They can take it. Let's just have a picture of a praying mantis eating her husband. Or let's just have some of the most grotesque imagery of pupa I've ever seen in my life. The sound is horrifying. The appearance is horrifying. Why would you want kids to see this? And a horrific image, to me the most horrific of all, when the caterpillar starts turning into a cocoon to turn into a moth, and oh god. God! What the fuck is happening?
Stop! Find a nice safe leaf first. Oh, thank hell.
Proceeding. Back to the main plot at hand. So the ants agree to help this queen ant who just breaks off her wings. Again, it's a kid's movie. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be realistic to animals. This is a kid's movie. You know what? I don't give a shit anymore. So they help her in building this nest. And there's one scene where I shit you not. This is the thing that pisses me off the most about this. There's literally a shot when she's talking right after she says, "It's all going according to plan." And then her animation stops, like. And then it dissolves to the next scene. I'm sure anyone who's edited before, or at least knows how editing works, knows how easy it is to just cut a few frames out and then do the dissolve. You know, if you can't keep the animation going forever, I get that. That's a lot of hard work for an animator. I've animated before. I know it's hard to do that. But you know how easy it is in editing to just cut a few frames out and then do the dissolve. You could do that in Movie Maker. That's one of the top 5 easiest things to do in editing. And they can't even accomplish that much. That's just sad. That's just fucking sad. Unbelievable that he couldn't take a few seconds. "5 seconds in the editing room, and I might not have seen that. Chris Stuckman might not have seen that. Why did he have to waste money to see this movie? I feel bad for him that he actually spent money on Amazon to watch this. he had to watch this and pay money for it. I feel so bad for him. This is not worth money. In fact, Michael should have to pay people to see this piece of crap. This isn't a movie, okay? This should be considered an episode of a show at most, because that's what it amounts to. There's no lessons learned. There's no character development. It's piss poor. It's a piss poor, pubic haired, cum guzzling, bitch full of ass crack, pixelated shit of a movie. Why was this invented? Why was this made? Why was this produced? Why was... Back to the plot at hand. So I guess the main character discovers that the Queen is actually up to something. She, I can't tell if this one's a he or a she, and discovers that she's plotting against them and making an army with the pupas, or whatever, the eggs. There's a ton of egg shitting, and they find out. And they reuse the gasping sound. You know what? I'm done saying reused, because that is the theme of this video. Is they reuse every single element of this movie. And when he runs back to tell everyone what's going on, they decide to bait the geckos over using their moth friend in order to stop all of this. We get some more awful dialogue, but that's just another premise of this movie is god-awful, awkward dialogue.
Lizards from Malaysia lurk in the shadows.
So
I
bad
am
dialogue.
so sick of these non-native species just waltzing in. They don't want a niche. They want the whole ecosystem.
Ecosystem? Ego-system?
Now, some
What?
Really gotta go. Be careful.
They're just gonna leave him behind. Just sitting out in the brush. Just leaving him behind. Bye. And the moth baits them over. Baits the geckos over. And they're just easily baited because they're stupid. But then again, everyone in this movie is stupid. Everyone in this movie is stupid. Every character in this movie is stupid. To me, the praying mantis is probably the smartest out of the bunch. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I think, that the physics are awful. Okay, that's physics? Why?
Oh no. A spider. Spider.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I'm saying when I'm falling. What are these physics? Is he made of rubber? Is he like a rubber chew toy you give your dog? What is this? And how is inside's not broken completely? Also, these geckos are stupid. So the geckos get there, and by the time the most grotesque thing in this movie, I shit you not, out of all the grotesqueness in this, the rest of it's bad. The rest of it's fucking shit. This scene where the ants are being born. It's the most awful sound. A horrifying sound. Them being born is horrifying. Their appearance is horrifying. The sound is horrifying. Everything about it is horrifying.
You cute little fuchsia. That's right.
What is that? They're finally born and they go after the ants. And before that, the queen ant and the three other ants start fighting. And it's like they're banging asses. Then again, the asses is a big thing in this movie. There's a ton of circular ass moving. And the squirrel walks with its ass penis. and they fight by banging each other's asses. And I guess one of the ants hits its thorax because the queen ants are like, ah, and then the other ants run away, and then she's like, get them! Ah, Cruella de Vil! Get them! Ah. I'm losing my mind here, guys. This movie is getting to me. After watching one of the best movies I've ever seen, in Isle of Dogs, I watched one of the worst pieces of garbage I've ever seen. It's worse than Food Fight for its animation. And when the ants run to go after the three that helped out the queen, the babies, I mean, they run into the geckos in which the moth baited over. And they all just start running into its mouth. They just run to their doom. They don't even listen to the queen at all. Don't ants follow the queen's orders no matter what? Aren't they programmed that way? Aren't they instinct-driven? They have no thought process for their own? The hive ones? No, they just run in there without even giving a shit for what the queen is telling them. I thought you were trying to be realistic to this movie, Michael! I thought you were trying to be realistic to how bugs work! Instead we get this. Also, this is unrealistic to bug facts because ants are based on instinct. Loyal ants are, like these guys. They're supposed to follow the queen's orders. Nope, they're just gonna run to their deaths. Guess they didn't want to be in the film anymore. Who can blame them? Everyone's so stupid in this movie. I guess the ants were just trying to get off stage in a good fashion. In a noble, sacrificial fashion. Did I just invent the word sacrificial? Probably. But who gives a flying ass? And then the ants, after everyone's eaten and whatnot, and then... do I really want to go on? This praying mantis comes back and he cuts off the tails of the geckos. I know, again, they can do that in real life, but do you really want to show that in a fucking kids movie? There we go. That's this whole movie summarized. It's awful. It's grotesque. It's bad. I recommend staying away from this thing like the plague. If you want to watch it yourself, it's free to watch on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description for both this and my reaction to this movie when I watched it. And yeah, that's pretty much my review. I'm going to give this movie a 1/3 of a star out of 5. I think I'm being maybe a bit too merciful, but oh well. Guys, thank you so much for sitting through this piece of shit with me. I know it may have been a bit much for you, and I know I got requests to review other movies, and I'm going to get to it. Because I almost feel like whatever I watch is going to be 10 times better than this. Like, I got a wonderful comment recommending a clown movie, a comedy thing. And you know what? I just might have to do that. When I get settled in again, I think I will do that. Alright. So thank you guys so much for watching, for sitting through this piece of crap with me. Is there anything I forgot? Who gives a shit? And I will catch you guys in the next movie review. Who knows what the next movie review will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. You know, Give me some thoughts on movies you want me to review. And if you agree with someone, put a comment down theirs, and that movie will get a higher chance of being reviewed. Good or bad. I review movies good and bad. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next review or in the next video. Take care. And stay sexy.